Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box, where today we wish a very happy birthday to the legendary lead singer of Iron Maiden, Bruce Dickinson. And I want to talk to you today all about his lyrics, because his lyrics help to define a subgenre of conceptual heavy metal. And to understand this, let's look at some of the lyrical styles that define other genres of music. Let's take hip hop, that most lyrical of all music genres. Well, hip hop lyrics that are the most successful historically have either been about stories or about socio political commentary. And a lot of the time, this is combined. This is why, when so called gangster rap first came out, one of the terms that many of the artists preferred to use was reality rap. I'm going to rap about the things around me. I'm going to tell stories about them. I'm going to comment about them. I'm going to write, an opinion piece, but with poetry, with lyrics. Let's look at pop music. Well, the majority of pop songs have been about love. There you go. When you look at other artists, some artists specialize in scathing satire, which is also a form of observational storytelling. Frank Zappa, for instance, wonderfully satirical. The Tubes, who we talked about, wonderfully satirical. And then we get to heavy metal, and there's several very defined genres of lyrics there. There's the sort of mythology genre of heavy metal, and there's some overlap there with progressive rock. So the lyrics of Ronnie James Dio, all about mythology. That's shared, let's say, by some of the early Genesis Peter Gabriel lyrics, which are very heavy on mythology. There is also social commentary in heavy metal. Slayer had a lot of social commentary. Then there's the general sort of doom and gloom lyrics of metal, which is kind of a less mythological based form of the sort of Dio lyrics that are just more about the doom and gloom one would see in the material world around us, rather than about mystical men on magic mountains and that sort of thing. And then there's the lyrics that focus on real historical events and the retelling of them. And there are quite a few heavy metal bands that do this, but I think that no one did this quite as well as Bruce Dickinson when he started to lead Iron Maiden in the early 80s. In fact, just the other week, someone came up to me and said, "Well, what's that song about the Crimean War?" And I said, "Oh, that's obviously Iron Maiden." And so many of their songs reference battles and other historical events. And Bruce Dickinson was able to convey that very well. Now, he was able to do this because he's a very intelligent guy and he's very well read. He knows about the history that he's talking about. He's very well read on military history in particular. And this gave Iron Maiden something very, very memorable that really stuck in the minds of the listeners. And that's not to say that all of the lyrics of Iron Maiden songs are about history or military history. And there's diversity in the same way that Ice Cube could rap about politics, but also rap about partying and having fun on other songs. It's not that we need to think of this dogmatically. But I do think that some of the historically minded songs of Iron Maiden are some of the best. And it obviously didn't hurt that Bruce Dickinson could really deliver them live. They were a great live band. And in the metal genre, because it is in many ways a very grassroots genre. It's sort of a music of the people, even if it's never been mainstream. It's certainly flirted with the mainstream, but the heavier you get into the metal community, the more it's about a community. Much like the Grateful Dead, how you have Deadheads, a band that never really made the mainstream. They had some singles, but they're a community, and metal is sort of like that too. And Iron Maiden, because they were and remain so good live, have been able to maintain this community of fans and of listeners for so many, many years. Bruce Dickinson, obviously, also very interesting because he's a pilot. He can fly commercial planes. And of course, he flies the band around the world on a 747, which is actually probably something that you would think, oh, having your own 747 jet as a band might get expensive, but you're not having to get pilots to do their thing, because Bruce Dickinson is a very accomplished pilot, which sort of dovetails into the fact that he is so interested in military history. So that's how I would define his living legacy. Among many other things, great performer, super charismatic, great voice. But the fact that he was a not only a pioneer, but I would say one of the best lyricists to go for and to really propel this historically informed lyricism in the heavy rock or heavy metal genres. So happy birthday to Bruce Dickinson. I'm sure there'll be many more, and another happy day for all of the Maiden fans out there. I know there's millions of you. Like, subscribe. We will see you next time. Take care.